Okay, so like I was saying, with reference to last week's class, a very good evening to us all once again. Yeah, people are still joining. So let's go on to get them accommodated. Ouch. Get them accommodated. Okay, so well, while that's on, let me see what we can do. Okay. So while that's on, let's take questions from last week's class. Let's see whether you are with me on the full page before I now before I say let me even do a review. Let me see whether I got what we were discussing or talking about. Right? Someone in this class, talk to me. Confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
I can
Yes,
see
sir.
it.
You can see your
All of you
screen.
that say you can see my screen, answer my question. All of you that say you can see my screen. Okay. What are the questions from last week's class? I don't know questions. Okay, let me ask questions from last week's class. Right. Um, Question number one. I need answers very quickly. We talked about the prerequisite knowledge for this course. And what's that? Knowledge on what? Knowledge on what? I'm waiting. That's question number one. If you want to answer question number one, go on. Question number two, define the term society. Question number three, define the term business. Question number four, define the term government. Question number five, go on, go on. I'm waiting for us, please. Go on. Question number five, what's the perspective that I want you to have while studying this course? Okay, I give a perspective and approach you're going to take on this course. Question number six, why is this field important to managers? Okay. Question number seven, what are these unique, how do I put it now? This one is actually why the field is important to managers also. But what are the, how do I coin it? That's one of the ways. What are the approaches to what are the approaches to the subject matter of BGS? We gave three approaches. Mention those three approaches. Question number eight, explain the interdisciplinary approach to the field of BGS. Question number nine, explain the global perspective to the BGS, the field of BGS. Then question number 10, explain the historical perspective to the field of BGS. Yeah, which question do you want to ask? I hope with this question that I've asked you, I believe that you're remembering what we discussed last week. You're getting to know how they all fit in, right? Let's hear you. Let's hear us out, everyone. If you don't want to talk again, talk now. Talk to me. Let's interact. Let's answer the questions. Which one should I go again? Hello, unmute your mic and speak. If you're talking and you're muted,
Um, Let me.
yeah, someone wants to
Good
try.
evening.
Thank you so much.
Hello,
Good evening, madam. Go on, please.
hello, sir.
I did not. I did not. Last week class, I was not stable. The network was just kind of throwing me off, and but I let me
Oh,
make an attempt to
okay,
society.
that's good. That's good. Yeah, let's have you. Thank you so much. Let's go on.
From my own understanding, I would say society is has to do with a particular group of people who are living together in a given area, and they are
Mm-hmm.
sharing the same customs. They have the same law and
Mm-hmm.
way of doing things.
Mm-hmm. You have tried. They're sharing. Let's
And
put these three
they
things
also have
good.
the same norms.
You're still on 1 point now. You're still on 1 point. Under these three are under the first point. They are sharing ideas. Put it together like that. all these
Okay.
customs, laws, norms, they're all under ideas. Then the second one should be they're sharing resources like materials, right? And the third one is that they're sharing systems, institutions. I'll clap for
T-shirts.
you very, very well from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
10. All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Thank you very much, ma. Usman Abdullahi, someone else overshadowed overtaking you. I thought you wanted to speak before, but after Suleiman, then you come up, okay? Suleiman, let's hear which one you want to answer. Thank you very much, is it Madam now or Ma'am, Madam One Chika, for your response. Just helped many people get a complete is and how to define it. See, she didn't just stop at saying that the society is a group of people who are living together. She extended it into as what exactly it is in terms of what makes them society. That they are sharing, they share ideas, share resources, they share systems, ways of doing things, ways of processing things. Okay, let me admit this person. Good. So I've given Suleiman a hit one opportunity. If he's not going to come now, there's another person on the queue. Suleiman, go on, please. I hear you. You've unmuted your mic. Go on very quickly.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. You're welcome.
I actually wanted to try defining the society as well.
Oh, she has collected it from your hand, right? No, let's not take another. Look for another question. Now that you
Actually,
have answered me, you must speak. You must speak and speak on another question. Yeah,
yes,
speak on.
actually, I wasn't as well present in the last
Okay,
class because of my network.
no
But sir,
problem.
I would try another one, sir. Let me.
Yeah, let's go now. Let's go. Which one are you trying now? Question.
Sir, sir, let me.
Question on.
I didn't get all the question right. I didn't get
Okay, we
all the
said define
question.
society. That one has been answered. We also
Yes, sir.
said define business, define government. And that one, these ones are straightforward. You can push, you can shoot on those ones.
Okay, sir, business and government, sir.
And just take one, take only one, just take only one. Define business. Well, from the
Okay.
BGS
Sir,
perspective.
I will just define government, sir. Government,
Yeah, go on now, go on.
uh, sir, government can be defined
Yeah.
is as a group, as a system
Yeah, I love
or
that.
group,
That's the word. System.
as a
System.
system
Yeah.
that has the authority to make law
Mm,
and manage affairs of the country or society.
that's a good one. Thank you very much. I love the fact that you called it a system.
Yes, sir.
That's another word for institution in this field from the perspective of the field of BGS.
Yes, sir.
So, in the society, we said they all share institutions.
Yes, sir.
Now, one of the institutions that they share is the government.
Government. Yes, sir.
The government is the institution that they use now to maintain law and order and
Yes,
then
sir.
facilitate activities. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Should I call you Dr. Suleiman Ahiju? Who's next now?
It's just Mr. Sir.
Um,
Thank you, sir.
Madam Blessing Jaffet. I
Um,
was soon, I
Good
was just,
evening.
I'm seeing plenty hands now. No repetition of what someone has said. Though. I hope you know, right? No
Yes,
repetition of
sir.
uh, of
Good
questions also. Yes, let's take from you,
oh,
man. Go on, please.
good evening, sir.
Good evening, man.
Although I can't see your screen, but I will try
Oh,
business.
okay. Let's go on. From the
Okay.
BGS perspective, okay?
Hmm. Okay, sir. Let me just try.
Yeah, go on,
Okay.
please.
Business is the art of creating goods and services to meet the needs of the citizen and also to grow profit.
Grow profits. That's the word profit is what makes that definition enough
Business.
for business. Yes. Now, when you look at it from the BGF perspective, when we say BGS, you already remember, I'm talking about the cause, users, government, and society. So when we say BGS perspective, we are still tracing it back to the fact that the society has institutions and systems, and one of those institutions and systems is business. Okay, so when you want to define it from the BGS perspective, I want to say it's one of the systems of the society now that the society uses to transform its own goods and services into its own resources rather into goods and services at a profit and to increase them at a profit. Thank you very much for that one. Thank you very much. I'm owing of you plenty of marks. Um, David Show, you're next on the queue. Right. Thank you so much, Madam Blessing. David Show,
Yeah,
David
I
Show, you're
think
next.
good evening. I think
Good evening.
Blessing defined business already.
Ah,
Or
you
should
will
I?
look for another one. No, she has defined business. Oh.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
will look for another question to define now. Which of the other questions did I even ask?
That's coming
I
as a
asked about the approaches to the field. The one that's on my screen now. I talked about the approach to the subject matter, right? And we said there are three approaches to the subject matter of BGS. What are they? One, two, three. Just mention them and then you'll be fine. Number one, you want to go and start
um.
scribbling. Go on, just
I
go on.
wasn't in the
No
class
problem.
during
Anything you
the
can
last.
remember, I'll give to you. Hmm? Okay, we're not in the class.
Yeah, I wasn't in the class last
No problem.
last.
No
Yes.
problem. Okay, someone can answer this question. Go on, please. Just go on and speak. The next person is Imam Mohammed. Are you answering this question I just raised now? Are you answering this question I just raised? Okay, Deborah, Madam Deborah or Ma'am Deborah, anyone? I hope I'm correct, right? Are you answering this question I just raised? What are the three approaches to this? Go on now. Go on. You're next. If you're talking, you're still muted. So unmute
Okay,
your
good
mic.
evening, sir.
Good evening, Madam Babatunde Moyoluwa. Please go on and speak. Why don't I just spoke now?
Yes, I want to give the approach to the subject matter.
Oh yeah, shoot. Go on and shoot. Shoot your shot. Yeah. All right, go on now. Go on. Go on quickly. You're muted though. Your microphone is muted. I want to stop these questions and answers right in 2 minutes time, so that we can know that 9:25 we dropped it off and then ran into another section. Okay, let me just
Hello, sir.
quickly. Yes, permit us,
Okay.
please. Permit us, please. Our time is gone now, please. Okay, I want to
So for
appreciate
the
you all. Okay, don't worry. I have another question
okay.
that is going to start. That's going to start the next one. Okay, that's the one you're going to answer next. But let me just rush it through again. Thank you for those who helped us remember our definitions. And I said, when you're looking at business from this course, you should look at it from all the businesses in the globe or in the economy, the one they call macro environment. All of those ones as one big unit, and your own individual business unit, whether you are a business manager or not, whether you are Dangote or not, whether you are Tony Elumelu or not, or you have your own small business or not. Just assume that you have it and you are in the center interacting with this one big business. And that's one big business. So your own micro business versus the one big business. You are sitting on the manager's seat and you are responding to all the business activities in the world. So it is you versus the entire society versus the entire business versus the entire um, governments of all the world existing at both the local level and the international level. What I really want you to study on this is these approaches that you wanted to mention just now. The approaches are three. Number one, we talked about the interdisciplinary nature of this course. Read it deeply, line by line, so that you understand why this course is such a is why this course touches all disciplines. Okay, that's because it's in the society, and the society has everything in it, both the medicine and the physics and the production and the transportation. And teaching, they are all inside the society. So, one way or another, they must rub on themselves. The matters of COVID in 2019, 2020 were all medical, were all biology related. But even if your job or business is not connected to it, somehow it got to affect you. That's just what I'm saying. So there are many disciplines also which have, okay, and then number two, the global perspective. Study the global perspective, how that all of these things exist at both the local level and at the international level, and the world is becoming what they call a globe. Okay, at one point in time, we're trying to differentiate the difference between international world and the globe. You get it now. International world considers nations as interacting with one another, yet like maintaining their national sovereignty and identity. Meanwhile, the idea behind the globe wants to see the world as just one singular market. Now, it makes room for what they call capitalism in such a way that no, at that level there's no central government, although they've been pushing to get there. There is no time for that now. Anyway, so at that level they're making up for, they're pushing to get there, they're pushing to get there. But at that level, currently, there's no central government. So anybody can do business anywhere he is allowed. That's why, as much as they can influence your government, they will find a way of entering into your country to do business for their own benefits, irrespective of how it affects you, as much as they can influence the system. That's what global capitalism is comes in. It comes with its own benefits. It also has its own disadvantages, like we saw in our last class when someone asked us a question around why fuel prices in Nigeria have been affected by the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Okay, and finally, we talked about we talked about we said it has a historical perspective. This one is very important. When we say history, the only thing that comes to your mind are things that happened many years ago, but that's not it. History is not limited to past events. Okay, history explains the happening of things from the past into the present into the future. As a matter of fact, the past determines where we are now, and what we're doing now determines where we'll be in the future. And all of these are happening considering the interaction with all the other factors in the environment. So, one thing I forgot to tell you is that, excuse me, is that this course has quite a number of case studies. Okay, a case study is like a real life story that they will just bring out. You read the story, and from the story, you try to find out probably the concepts and the relationships in the course that you're studying. Like the first one you're seeing on my screen is the story of ExxonMobil Corporation, which you're going to study and pick out some salient points. Okay. But before that, I want us to look at tonight a topic that I will announce, which you already announced in the forum I created for it. However, I'm throwing this question now to you. B, G, and S. What do you think their relationship should be like in terms of who has control or power? Time. What do you think it should be like? What's your own thought? What do you think should be the relationship between business, the government, the society as a whole in terms of, okay, power, control, and influence? Better put that way. Over to you, please, very quickly. Let's take the next 5 minutes to kick hard on this question. All right, who wanted to answer the question the last time? This is your opportunity. Mr. John. Okay, Imam Muhammad, go on, please. That's it.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. In my own little understanding, sir, I think the society, the government, and the business, I mean the business, the government, and the society, they all work hand to hand because the business needs government, and the government needs business, and business needs society, and society also needs business, and also the government. So
Mm,
they are all together. So basically, the business will not not like need government to succeed and also need society to succeed in order to meet up with his own plan.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your response. Can we take another? What do you think between business, government, and society? How?
Good evening.
Yes. Next person, please.
Okay, sir. So, for me, I think there is an interrelationship between the government, business, and society. Like you said, the government, which is charged with the responsibility of providing for its citizens and making sure that the welfare of the citizens are met, can only do that by a means by an economical means, which actually bring a business into play. So, the government is meant to come up with policies. They're meant to come up with policies to make sure that there is a stable economic for the society to thrive in. So there is an interrelationship between the, the government, business, and society.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want people to understand my question now. Okay, we have laid down the fact that there's an interrelationship between business, the business world, right? The government and the society. Now, this part that I'm bringing in is in terms of influence, who do you think should, or should I say, who do you think have exerted more influence over another in the past? Or, yeah, I'm looking at it from two different perspectives now, right? What have you seen in the past? Or you can answer what you've seen in the past as to who has exerted more influence over another. Or you can also answer what you think it is right now. Who should exert more influence over the other? Go on, please.
Okay.
Emmanuel Abi, your hand is up. Emmanuel Abi, your hand is up. If you want to talk, raise your hand. Make sure your hand is up. Emmanuel
Good
Abi,
evening, sir.
good evening, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir. In as much as there are interrelationship between business, society, and government, but government has influence over the business because he set out policies, plans, and make enabling environment for business to strive. So therefore, the kind of policies that is on ground is what will give the business the next step to take in influencing and to sell their goods and services. For instance, when our President Ahmed Tinubu was sworn into office May 27, 29, he make a declaration and says subsidy is gone. Immediately, the price of fuel in
Everything
this
turn around.
fuel station changed because there was a declaration, there was a policy.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Now we've gotten a perspective that says the government is supposed to the government actually exerts more influence. Do you have any other perspective? If you have any other perspective, now is when you speak. If you have the same perspective, don't too bother yourself, okay? If you have any other perspective, let's take it very quickly. Madam Blessing Jaffet, I think your hand is okay. Next person, Oluwato. Okay, no, this one is just coming in now. Okay, if you have any other perspective, let's see it. Abiodun Omoyinmi. Sorry, I didn't pronounce your name. I should be able because I understand Yoruba quite well. So go on, please.
Hello, sir. Very good
Yeah,
evening.
good evening, sir. You're welcome.
Yes, sir. Well, I am seeing it from another perspective,
Okay.
quite opposite to what my friend said.
Yeah.
Well, government, business, and society. I want to understand that, of course, all along over the years, it has been government taking charge and dominating the affairs of things, and which has not so far helped us in any way, or if at all there was any help, it has been very minimal. If the likes, if an individual like Elumelu could nurture his business from what it was to what it is, and still having a very brighter future as we see it. And Dangote, from who it used to be to what it is, the Femi Otedola, then we should allow these business-oriented people, these we call them capitalists, though, but notwithstanding, when there is competition, they don't dominate. For instance, we're talking about government having influence and dominating the affairs of Nigeria, of course, in perspective now. And that has helped Dangote monopolizing, of course, the petroleum sector in this country. And this is where we find ourselves. I am not
Okay.
saying it being the best. I'm not saying government influence in our economy, especially the business aspect of this country, as the best. And there should be a halt to that.
Okay. I thank you very much. Okay, I think I would like to stop it here, unless it's a now let me explain what I heard from all of you now. Right. Then I'll now give you what we're going to study today. I heard a description of the situation, and I also heard a prescription of the situation. Is that so? One described what he's seeing currently in using the Nigerian society for an example. Then another one came up also and prescribed what he thinks it should be on top of what he's seeing. Now, this is what we call a model. Are you getting it? This is what we call a model. So when we say, so this whole topic is called the models of the BGS relationship. So a model can be anything, you can just draw a diagram and see how government is on the top, influencing business, anyhow it is. But you see now, the models you have brought up, the one that I described was telling us how that in Nigeria today, the government actually exerts upon business. But you would not talk anything about the society. Anyway, let's us move on because of time. Okay. Didn't talk about where the society falls in all of this. Okay. But the other one I was saying, okay, despite that we saw that this model, the descriptive model is there in that form, we also are prescribing that business should. Anyway, permit me to just move on, okay? For those of you who have your hands up, I believe there might be another opportunity for you to ask, okay? The same way you have these ideas for what you are seeing currently going on, this is how several ideas have existed over many years all around the world. And these ideas have made up what we call the four models of the BGS relationship. One of the ideas is in line with what what our first brother described. Another idea also is in line with what the other brother described. Okay, so there are four ideas basically. In your courseware, they are split or broken down into two different chapters. Okay, and I want you to look at them later on by yourself, although I'm going to switch to my notes to speak from there. But before I get there, you see these are the first two. If you can see my screen, the market capitalism model. This is the situation that had been in some places based on how they think it should be, just the way you are thinking it should be. I think this is where my brother's model, the last person that spoke, sorry, last person that spoke, I think his model is sitting on this. Then then the first person that spoke, his model is sitting on this one, dominance model. Although dominance model does not include only the government. Now we'll talk about that also. Then there are two other models that shows how things are beginning to change. Okay, things are beginning to change from what they used to be into what they are becoming now in today's world. So as we're talking now, I want to look at it outside, even in Nigeria too. Yes. Okay, so let's list them all up. The other two are the countervailing forces. Okay, countervailing forces. No, we're not referring to systems of government now. Okay, so don't So don't bring like capitalism. No, don't look at it from that perspective. Okay, the perspective you should look at it from now is the perspective we have countervailing forces and what they call the stakeholder model. Okay, so there are four different schools of thought, um, thinking, four different lines of thinking. Okay, we have countervailing forces model, and then we have the stakeholder model. So let's look at them very quickly. Okay, so capitalism, the model of the capitalism model is the one where businesses rule. I told you about the case study that we have here, right? The case study of ExxonMobil. So when you read that ExxonMobil case, you will see how the whole thing started in such a way that that one company was shaking the entire world's oil. Okay, that one company called Standard Oil. I think this Standard Oil was his first name. It had a first name, and then the one that was founded by John D. Rockefeller. How that it was shaking the entire world, influencing governments, influencing society, dominating both government and society. Okay, at that level, it is seen that business now, right? Business has more influence. They can buy government, they can exert prices on okay, that's what I call the power tussle, as I've seen on my screen now. I'm calling it the power tussle. Okay, let me go back to the other screen I'm sharing from. Good. So I call it the power tussle. Who should dominate who? Who should influence who? Okay, so I said you should read the study the ExxonMobil case, but let me just go on very quickly. Our time is running. I need to release what is our brethren from public administration. Okay, good. So I've told you what a model is, right? The screen is showing. Confirm that you can see. That's my screen. I think it's your network. We'll confirm that that's my screen anyway. Hello, confirm that you're with me. Confirm that you can see my screen.
No, we
I
can't see,
can
sir.
see.
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody, how many? Is anybody that cannot see?
I can see.
Okay, good. So for my notes, from your courseware, I've shown you where to find this topic, right? Topic number 3 and 4, study session 3 and 4, right? So I described a model. I told you that two of you now gave us somebody describes the phenomenon for us. I think that was the first person that spoke, described the model, while the other person prescribed and made predictions or so. Those are what we call models. You will find models in this course. So let me first of all tell you. Okay, you find several models. This is just the first set of models. This one, we have 4 models. They speak to the models that explain the relationship between BG and S. You will still meet another model, another set of 4 models ahead when we're talking about corporate governance. And then you also meet another, that one is not model, another one with theories, set of 4. So don't confuse them, don't mistake them for one another, okay? When you are talking about models of BGS relationship, know that that's what you're talking about. When you're also talking about models of corporate governance, know that that's what you're talking about. When you're talking about models and theories of corporate governance, as the case may be, but for now, let's focus on this. I said these are the 4 different perspectives. Okay, so let me explain very quickly from here, then I'll just run through what I have on my notes to see what we can get. I said in the market capitalism model, you can see that capitalism word there. It refers to business. So that's to tell you that once upon a time, or in some people's minds, or in certain countries, it's business that has stronger influence over both the government and the society. Okay, they do it in different ways. Businesses only fight against themselves through competition. So that's the only way the society benefits from them. society benefits from them because businesses in that sense now we win amongst other businesses through high quality, best prices, and all of those things. But when it comes to having that influence, they are the ones that have the power. Government, when the government speaks, they chew cash in their mouth. Okay, that's what happened in Nigeria over the years, even before now, that led to some of the damages we've had so far, where certain governments may not be able to speak. The oil companies of old, how they affected our Nigeria Delta regions, well, as a result of all of these things. And the same thing happened in many other countries like that. Okay, and that's just a summary of the market capitalism model. Many people did not like this. Many governments did not like this. At one point in time, that ExxonMobil I was telling you about had to now face some confrontations from certain companies. You know about the Arab oil companies, the seven Arab oil companies, when they call the Seven Sisters. The Seven Sisters, that oil company came up as a result of that influence. ExxonMobil, Standard Oil. So that evolved into what we have, what we call the dominance model. It's not completely the government, neither is it completely business. So business comes with its money power, financial power. Government also comes in with its political power. So both powers combine, they join forces to oppress the society. Okay. And I think this is where Nigeria is today to a very large extent. Actually, I have to say to a very large extent because there's still some extent of number three in the Nigerian economy. Okay. So in dominance model, you can just picture it now. Both business and government have an influence over the society. Okay. Like the example my brother gave regarding the government policies. And then on one hand, another person gave how Dangote is becoming a monopoly. So you see now it's like an intercourse between business and government to now society with regards to areas of their own individual interest. But that also is evolving. So at this stage, at the first stage, we had just one major influencer, business. At the second stage, we have how many influencers now? Two, business and what and who? The government. Are you with me? Good. In the
Yes, sir, we are with you, sir.
in the third stage, at the third stage, some voices from the society are beginning to spring up to challenge the activities of businesses and governments. These are activists. Without having activists, okay, activists will cry out and say, see what you're doing to our land through your oil, whatever, through your oil exploration and co. See what the government is doing. So these activists, they call them, in this sense, don't call them activists, we call them catalysts. That's what they call them here in this course. Catalysts, okay?
Like
They're broken into two groups. They are the ones they call public catalysts. And then there's the other group they call environmental catalysts. Public catalysts speak against the oppression of the government and the society and the business on behalf of humans in the society, the public, while environmental catalysts speak on behalf of the physical environment that cannot speak for themselves. Environmental degradation, damaging of roads by business heavy trucks, okay, oil spillage, all those things that in the long run will now cause damage to the people or even to the environment. So now we have four different influences. They've risen to a point whereby when they speak, okay, the government has to listen. We're talking about countervailing forces. Don't forget that. Say number one, market capitalism. Number two, dominance model. Dominance model, government and business. Here we have four. We still have business. Business still has their power. Business must be always have. Then we have the government. Government still has its power. But now we also have public catalysts, and then we have environmental catalysts. And I hope you're with me. So,
yes,
but in this stage, is now a multi-stakeholder issue right now. That is why you can just go on Twitter or on Facebook and say this company did this to me, and the business would be want to come and attack you or adjust because it don't have to be a public catalyst. The media has made it such a way that every stakeholder, I don't say a stakeholder, I'm referring to any personality that can either affect or can be affected by, okay, the activities of business or government. They are all in the societies. Okay, like yesterday, I was watching a video on YouTube over a lady in Lagos speaking to BRT bosses and how that they always experience long queues, and then someone was challenging her to say why don't make that video here. And before you know anything, the BRT bosses came up to speak, and in their own speech, they denied the lady who was speaking and said she belongs to one of those private companies. Probably she's a BRT staff. Okay, and then later on they said, okay, they've engaged in companies that will bring quite a significant number of buses that will aid that issue. Because of what? One young TikToker, for example, just spoke and put on media before you know anything. There is a response. I hope you're getting the flow now. These are four different perspectives. The world is coming to a stage right now where almost everywhere you go, you have more of the stakeholder model. You see more of the stakeholder model. I know in Nigeria the dominance model is stronger, right? The dominance model is stronger. There's still some countervailing voices. There's still some public catalysts and a few, and then the stakeholder also they're also coming up. Although business and government always looks for ways to shut the mouths of these people. But that's just a summary of everything that we said here. Okay. Now let's run through my note very quickly so that we'll close in the next 3 minutes. Keep your questions. I would like to close the class by 10. So I want to drop a question on the group so the class can continue. Um, so the class can continue as chats, okay, so that public admin students can attend to the lecture that they're supposed to have today. I said each of these models does one or more of the following things. It's either describing or interpreting or explaining or prescribing, like two of our colleagues gave us. Okay, it's describing an opinion, what they think it should be like. So when you are studying this, what you should be thinking about is how much power a business has in every given situation here. Okay, now as a manager, if you find yourself in a system whereby we have market capitalism in force, right? Yeah, something like that. Your bank they will chat you up instantly. Even the way they would not attend to you in the banking hall, they will just chat you up instantly and try to resolve your issues very quickly. Okay, good. So I said now, if you find yourself in a society whereby it's market capitalism, what kind of decisions will you take as a manager? If you find yourself in a society where we have stakeholder model in play, what kind of decisions will you take? Okay. Now, in each of the society, to what extent do we have this corporate responsibility? There's a topic we will take again. I think you took it on in BSQ 201, but we'll take it again in BSQ 301 again, corporate social responsibility. Now you see matters of ethics differ in each of those models. The way you will behave, the way a manager will behave, or a business person will behave when it comes to speaking of ethics in a market capitalism model. This one they cannot do that in a place where we have countervailing forces, and they cannot do that in a place where we have stakeholder model. In those days, Shell or Co can just spill oil and leave. Environmentally unethical practices can just go on. But these days, they are being called out. Okay. At what point do you really think that the government should come in now to regulate? These are just 5 different talks when you are studying any of them. So the remaining things you find are just basic explanation. Okay. basic explanations of this. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've gathered a thing or two. You've combined two chapters this evening. Okay, so this, you can see them very well. Public catalysts, environmental catalysts, stakeholder model, all the forces, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the conclusion of this is this: given whoever the boss is in any situation, the question still narrows down to what you as the manager, what will you do in given situations? How do you react? How do you, okay? So it is on this basis that we now say that a BGS model is a systematic description of the ideas describing or prescribing the interacting relationship between BG and S. So the question I'll be asking you in the next class will be pertaining to all of these, but I still want you to go and look at. I still want you to look at the what do you call it now? The Exxon Mobil case. Okay, I still want to look at that Exxon Mobil case and begin to find all these things. Find in the Exxon Mobil case while you're reading it. Find at what point it existed as if Exxon Mobil was the only boss in the entire oil industry. Find out where governments, even US and ISC government, rose up to challenge ExxonMobil at first. Okay, made monopoly a crime. The government just came up from nowhere. Yeah, that's the story. The ExxonMobil story. The government just came up out of anger, made monopoly a crime. Okay, how in Arab nations they got angry, set up their own. That's where dominance began to come in. Okay, how in some countries it was even the government of those countries that are helping ExxonMobil to to safeguard its own, to influence as in when they're giving them money, they're the ones that are even fighting rebels on behalf of all those kind of things. How that public catalyst rose up at one point in time or another, okay, to challenge ExxonMobil. Environmental catalysts also rose up at one point in time or another to challenge ExxonMobil. Then you go to the point where stakeholders model. So we'll read this model. That's my charge for you this evening. Study this model casually. You will understand it better from this explanation I'm giving. Before you know anything, you look into the society every day, and you will begin to see all these things. You will know where this one fills in. If you look on the social media, if you look on the news, regular, what do you call them, print media also, or any, you understand, okay, this is what this course is talking about. So when a question comes up, you don't have to start cracking your brain too much. Once you understand and you can relate with your physical environment, you already have a B in this course. Then if you now dig deep into your course, into your courseware, then you're sitting on an A. Thank you very much for tonight. It's 10 o'clock already. I'll be stopping this class now. Public admin students, you can go on to your class. Are you sure you have that class tonight? But we're done anyway. Just for us to take questions. We may not have the opportunity tonight, but I can see the opportunity is still open in the WhatsApp group. Okay, please drop your questions there right now, immediately. Don't have to wait. Okay, then I can just type a response, or some people have any contribution to make to that effect, then they can go on with it. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.